Hello everyone, and welcome to this section where we are going to create and learn how to create Python dictionaries. In our last lesson, we worked with for loops. We understood what the Python for loops were, and we saw a few examples on how you can create for loops using Python and how we could loop over lists. This time around, let's see what Python dictionaries are. So to do that, let's just create a new Python file here. I'll just click on new file, and I'll call that 13 underscore dictionaries underscore python.py, so it knows we're actually working with a dictionary. And let's give ourselves a little bit of space right here. Whoops. I'll just get rid of this and just save this. So a dictionary, items in a dictionary are ordered, they are mutable, and they are created using a key and value pair. And all that will sound like, let's just use a practical example so we can see how we can create them. So let's say I want to create a dictionary of my favorite game consoles. So I'm just going to say game underscore console underscore ps is going to be equal to two curly braces. So this right here is an empty dictionary. If we want to see that, we could actually say print type, and then we'll pass in the game console underscore ps so that we can see, so that we can actually see that type. So I'll just hit Control F5 and we should actually see on the screen right here. It's super slow. It tells us this is a class dictionary, class dict right here. So it means this is a dictionary. So I'll just quickly comment this out because I don't need this right here. It just makes the code much more easily readable. So the next, if we want to populate a dictionary, this is how we do it. So we use a key value pair, and dictionary can handle different data types. So it's actually ordered, and it's like a list, and it works like sets as well, but it has key value pairs. So let's say I have the company that created the game console, Sony. So the key is going to be company. Company like so, and we use a column and then we pass in the pair. So this is a string, so I'm just going to say Sony. So for the next item I'd like to pass in is the console. So I'll just say console like so, and I'll just call that PS. So I'll just quickly go over and speed up the video while I'm just type this so you don't just watch me type in this boringly. Alright, so I actually have my dictionary right here, and if I want to just see the output of my dictionary, all I'm simply going to do is to print out the name, which is the game console underscore ps, and this should list out a set of key and value pairs for this dictionary. So we can actually see that at the bottom. I'll just make this slightly bigger so we can actually see the results of that dictionary. So again, just for definition purpose, we know that dictionaries are ordered sets. They are mutable, which means we can actually change them. And let's see how we can print out some of these contents within these dictionaries. So let's say we want to print out the Japanese release year. So let's say print Japanese release. So we can actually do that. Let's store that as a new variable, or we can simply call the name of the dictionary, which is game console underscore ps, and then we use a square bracket and then pass in the name of that key. So the key is going to be this cost JPY, and once you do that, you'd actually see it's giving us a list of the dictionary keys. So I just want the cost of the Japanese currency, and I'll just store this in a variable so I can be able to so I can print it. So I'll just say cost in yen, and here I could just fancy print out. So I'm just going to use an F string this time. I'm going to say in 1994 the original PlayStation costs, and then I'll use my curly braces to pass the cost in yen, and I won't forget to close that curly brace, and then I'll say yen, and then I'll just say oops, it was quite pricey. Just to have more a result we can actually play with. And we can simply, once we run that, let's just save and run. So you can actually see that result right here. It says into 1994, yada yada yada. It was quite pricey, so that's the result of our output. To clear this screen, I'll just use CLS to clear the screen, and let's just move on from there. We can also get the length of a dictionary or pretty much any iterable list type, and we can use the len method. So let's say getting the length of a dictionary, and I'll just print out. I could just do this. I could just say len and then say the game console underscore ps and then store this as a variable. This is actually going to work. There's not going to be a problem with that, but I just want to put that in a print statement so we can see that output real nicely. So here I'll just close this with the closing parentheses, and I'll use an F string just to represent that information much more appropriately. So here I'll just add in a few texts. I'll just say with a dictionary of length, and then in curly braces I'll pass in the length. This is going to return a number, so I'm just going to say items. So I dare say it's rather short. So the reason why I didn't put this guy right here, because if I put this apostrophe, it's going to, Python's going to get confused. So to solve that, I'll just change this to quotes for the string, and it should be fine. So I can use this single apostrophe here. So let's save that and run. So now it says with a dictionary of length of 7 items. I think I can get rid of the length. So it just says with a dictionary of 7 items. So here it says with a dictionary of 7 items, I dare say it's rather short. So just something we can actually do with that length. If we want to get the keys that exist in the dictionary, we can use the dictionary view by using a keys method. So let's see how we can quickly do that. So let's say getting the keys in a now remember, the keys are the ones to the left of this column, right? So that's your keys. So we have the keys right here and their values on the right. So to get a list of keys, we can use the keys method. So oops, let me just undo that and get back down here, because this is where we are. So I'm just going to say the name of the dictionary dot keys. It's that straightforward. And then if we want to save this as a variable, we can say console keys is going to be equal to this, and then we can print console keys like that. And to make this kind of clean, what I'm going to do is to comment out some of this, so we can just print out only what we are working with. like so. So I'm just going to stop here and I'll just partition this. So in case you're following along and you download this, you can just use that. So I'll just clear the screen and I'll run that again just so we have that specific result. So these are the keys of the dictionary, and you can see it presents them in a list and we're not seeing any of the values there. So only the set of keys are being displayed right now. So how do we add items to a dictionary? Say for instance we want to add an item to the dictionary. Say maybe for instance we want to add the number of units shipped, right? So let's go ahead and see how we can do that. So here I'll just say adding items to the dictionary, and to do that we'll call the name of our dictionary first, and then we'll use a square bracket to add a new list. So I'm just going to say units shipped. So that's going to be our key, and it's going to be equal to a value. So this is going to be 102, let's say 102.49 million. So 102.49 million units were shipped. So if I want to see this output now, so I'll just say print, and I'll use an F string, and I'll see our new dictionary with units shipped. And then we'll pass in our the same console like so. Not forget our closing curly brace, and let's quickly run this, and we can actually see units shipped is added to the end of that dictionary as 102.49 million units. So that's how we can get the add items to our dictionary. So we can get all the values. Remember, we can actually get the keys using the keys. Let's see how we can get the values from an existing dictionary. So let's say getting values from a dictionary. So I'll create a variable called all values, and I'll call the name of our dictionary, which is we called it game console ps. So I'll just use dot values. So the name is highly highly implies what it does. So I'm just going to print out all values real quick, and let's run this. So here we can actually see all the values for our dictionary here on the last line. So I'll close that. That's how we can print out our values using the values. Very simple. So I think we used items. Let's see if we've used items. No, we haven't used items. There's a built-in dictionary function called items, and this will return the values in your dictionary but as a tuple. Yep. So let's see how that works. Let's say using items to return dictionary as tuple. So let's say let's create a variable called tup to represent a tuple, and let's call our dictionary and use the .items method, and then let's print out tup. And remember, tuples present the results using a pair of sorry about that, guys, that was an error. Using a pair of parentheses. So it's just print tup. I don't know what I was doing out there. So you can actually see this is a list, but in between you can actually see the results here in parentheses, and it's storing that value, displaying that value in tuples. So we can also use statements within a dictionary to check if an item actually exists. So let's see an example using looping through a dictionary, like we saw in our lesson on using Python for loops. So let's say looping, or let's check for an item. So now that we have this, let's say if there is a key called console in the name of our dictionary, so we call that game console underscore ps. So we're simply going to print out yes console exists. So very simple and basic if statement to check, and it actually tells us yes, console exists. Why? Because there is a key value called console in our dictionary, right? So now I've seen how we can create items in a dictionary. Let's see how we can remove items in a dictionary, right? So, and all these dictionary methods are kind of like built in. So we can even change the values in a dictionary by using the key names. So let's see how we can quickly do that. So here, let's say changing dictionary items using key names. Now for changing, you might actually hear people use mutating. So I'll use our game ps, and then I would like to change the release year, the value for the release year, and I'll set that to be equal to 1996. Let's see the value for release year in North America. It's September 9th, 1995. I'm changing that to an integer called 1996, and yeah, so let's print out the dictionary now that I've assigned a value directly to the North America release year. So I'll save and I'll run that, and we're going to see North America release year is 1996, but here in our tuple example it's September 9th, 1995. So sorry guys, that's how I can manipulate and change that. You can also use the update method to update a dictionary. So let's see how we can also do that as well. So I'll say using the update method. So we can call the name of our dictionary, which is gameconsole.ps. I'll just use .update, and within that you use curly braces because that's the notation when you want to work with a key value pair. So let's find the key. So if I want to change the cost in US dollars, and then the value pair, I'm going to set that to say 300 instead of that 299 we have. And this time if we print out the game console underscore ps, we should see that change over there, and we can actually see the cost in US dollars is now 300 instead of where are you, cost in US dollars instead of 299 like we have it in here. So that's one quick way to do that. Other dictionary functions that exist, and I actually suggest you play around with them and kind of have fun with them. If you want to remove items in a dictionary, so let's just add this as so remove items in a dictionary. You'll actually use the pop. So if we actually use the let's see pop, this is going to remove the item in a dictionary. If we use the pop item, If we use the pop item method, it's going to remove last. Alright, so if we also wanted to delete a dictionary, we just use the del keyword and then the dictionary name and then the key we would like to delete. So again, I suggest you play around with this example and kind of like see how it works. For instance, if we wanted to quickly use the pop, we could just call the name of our dictionary, which is game console underscore pairs dot pop, and then we need to pass in the value we want to pop out of that dictionary. This time around, I'll just pop out the cost in Great Britain pounds. And then if we print our game console now, we should be able to try and search for the cost in Great British pounds, but without seeing them because, hey, it's no longer there. So this is my new dictionary, and I'm looking for the cost in Great British pounds. I can see the cost in Japanese yen, US dollars, and I can see the units shipped, but I can't see the cost in Great British pounds from this last cell that we ran right here. So I think the output is getting crazy again. So I can decide to copy everything here and then put them underneath the comment like so. Okay, I don't know why it's stuck, but yeah, I can take, let's just pick it from here. No. Okay, it's fighting me right now. Alright, good. That wasn't so hard, was it? So I'll just drag this up and just underneath here, I'll just paste everything and save it. So now when we run, we should actually see a much more, I have to clear the screen. So if I run this, we should just see a the last example we kind of like created right now. So we can clear out a dictionary. The clear method will empty a dictionary. So if we try clear like so, this will actually empty a dictionary. So let's see, use a quick example, and we'll actually move on and wrap it up for the next lesson. So let's actually see this. So let's say I have an ages, a dictionary that contains ages, and I'll pass in the key and value pairs for this. So I'll have a name, let's say Amber, and I'll set Amber's age to 21. I'll use a comma for the next key value pair, say Peter, and I'll set this to 29, and I'll add Nancy, I'll set to 25, I'll say Aisha, set that to 18, like so. So I'll just save this. So let's print out the ages. So I'll just say print ages underscore dict, just so we can just see that real quick and see we have a working dictionary. And we have Amber, Peter, Nancy, and Aisha. Cool. That's awesome. So let's use the clear right now and then clear that dictionary. So I'm just going to call the name ages dict dot clear. So once we've done that, let's print out ages underscore dictionary. So this is going to be before clearing, is going to be after clearing. So I'll just save that and run. So this is Amber that has all that information, but after I've cleared that dictionary, I'm going to get an empty value like so. And just like we've seen in a previous example, we can actually loop through this dictionary. So let's quickly do that in our next lesson, in our dictionary lessons part 2, where we'll be for looping through our dictionary, and we'll also see how we can create nested dictionaries. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next lesson.